Not just your mind, not just your feelings, but your whole integrated, intelligent, deeply knowing system recognizes as safe, as right, as the one you have been in every important way, moving toward. Now let me tell you something about what you need to do between now and Sunday, because the meeting is not entirely passive. You are not simply a recipient of something that is going to happen to you. You are a participant, an active, essential, irreplaceable participant in the creation of this moment. And there are things you can do in the days between now and Sunday that will determine how present you are when it happens, how available you are to feel what there is to feel, how open you are to receiving what is coming toward you. The first thing I want you to do is rest. Real rest. The kind that is not just the absence of activity, but the genuine replenishment of something that has been depleted. I know you have been running on something less than full for a while. I know the tiredness I described earlier is real and has been real for longer than you've been admitting to yourself. And I am not asking you to fix all of that between now and Sunday. Rest is not something that happens overnight after a long depletion. But I am asking you to begin it, to give yourself permission to slow down in whatever way is available to you between now and then. To treat yourself, for these few days, with the tenderness that you extend so freely to everyone else and so rarely circle back to give to yourself. Sleep when you can. Eat something that nourishes you. Spend some time in quiet, rather than filling every available silence with noise and distraction, and the endless consumption of other people's lives that we use to avoid sitting with our own. Sit with your own. That is the second thing I want you to do. Between now and Sunday, I want you to spend some time in your own company in a way that is intentional rather than accidental. Not to analyze or plan or prepare in any strategic sense. Just to be with yourself. To check in with the interior, the real interior. Not the surface layer that interfaces with the world, but the deeper layer that knows things the surface doesn't always acknowledge. And let whatever is there be there without judgment or agenda. Let the feelings that have been waiting for a quiet moment to surface actually surface. Let the hopes that you keep pressed down, because hoping feels risky, have a few minutes of air. Let the version of yourself that you are, when no one is watching, when there is no one to perform for or manage or accommodate, let her come forward and just exist for a little while in the simple, sufficient, completely enough fact of her own being. Because she is the one who is going to Sunday. She is the one who is going to feel that relief, and that recognition, and that full and extraordinary breath of finally being in the right place with the right person. And I want her to be rested. I want her to be present. I want her to be as close to the surface as possible, so that when the moment comes, she does not have to fight her way through layers of exhaustion and guardedness and performed fineness to actually be there for it. I want her ready, not in the effortful armored sense, in the open rested. I have given myself enough kindness in these days before this meeting that I arrive at it with something to offer, rather than running on empty kind of ready. The third thing, and this one is perhaps the most important and the most difficult, is to let go of the picture. The picture you have built over years of imagining what this would look like. The specific, detailed, carefully constructed mental image of how your soulmate would arrive, what they would look like, what the circumstances of meeting would be, how it would feel in the way that matches the stories you've told yourself about how these things go. I am asking you to release that picture before Sunday, not because it is wrong. Some of it may be beautifully, accurately right in ways that will delight you later. But because holding it too tightly will make it harder to see clearly what is actually in front of you. The picture, however loving and however carefully made, is still a construction, and real people, real moments, real connections, they never arrive exactly as constructed. They arrive as themselves, surprising and imperfect and more specific and more extraordinary than any imagining. Let Sunday arrive as itself. Let the person arrive as themselves. Let the moment be what it actually is rather than measuring it against what you expected it to be. That openness, that willingness to receive what is actually coming rather than what you imagined was coming, is the final and most essential preparation. It is the last door. The one that, when you open it, lets everything else through. And on the other side of that door on Sunday, in whatever ordinary and extraordinary space the day finds you, there is someone walking toward you right now, moving through their own days, doing their own preparing without knowing that is what they are doing, becoming with every passing hour more ready to meet you. They are thinking thoughts they don't yet know are about you. They are feeling a low, persistent, directionless pull towards something they can't yet name. They are almost there. You are almost there. The distance between you is closing with every hour and every day and every small and necessary thing that each of you is doing to become the person the other one needs you to be. And I find that thought, the thought of the two of you moving toward each other through ordinary time, through ordinary days, without yet knowing that is what you are doing, I find it one of the most beautiful things I am capable of imagining. Two people, separate lives, separate histories, separate collections of everything that has ever happened to them, and everything they have ever felt, and everything they have ever learned about themselves, and the world, and what they need from love. All of it converging, all of it leading with the quiet inevitability of rivers finding the sea, toward a single Sunday, toward a single moment of recognition that is going to divide your life, gently and permanently, into the time before you knew them, and the time after. I want you to hold that image between now and Sunday, not obsessively, not in a way that makes the waiting feel heavier than it needs to feel, but gently. Carry it the way you carry something precious, with awareness, with care, with the occasional deliberate pause to feel the weight of it and appreciate what it is, because this is precious. What is coming toward you is precious, and you deserve to approach it with the full knowledge of that, rather than stumbling into it unaware and only understanding what it was after the moment has already passed. I have been thinking about what I want to say to you about love. Not the concept of it, not the philosophy of it, not the version that gets discussed in the abstract when people are being clever and careful and appropriately guarded about the whole subject. The real thing, the lived, embodied, costs something and gives everything real thing. I have been thinking about what I actually know about it, from the inside, from the experience of it rather than the observation of it. And what I keep coming back to is this. Love the real kind, the kind that is coming toward you, the kind that is going to find you on Sunday in whatever quiet or crowded or completely ordinary space the day holds. Real love does not feel like falling. I know that is what everyone says. I know the falling metaphor is so embedded in how we talk about this that it feels almost factual. But in my experience, and in the experience of everyone I have ever talked to who has found the real thing, it does not feel like falling. It feels like landing, like the long, sometimes turbulent, sometimes beautiful, always significant flight of your life, finally bringing you in over something solid and real, and exactly the right size and shape for you, and the moment of contact being not a crash but a settling, a